Welcome to Spirited Straight Talk, the podcast to help you thrive with the help of spirit. I'm Deb Shepard, psychic medium, spiritual teacher, and author. Each week, I bring new insights to help you heal from loss, connect with spirit, and turn setbacks into triumphs. So let's get started. I'm so excited to talk to you today about my new YouTube show, Grieving to Believing. This is my first episode, and I wanted to share it with you here on Spirited Straight Talk. But there are 3 episodes already posted for you to watch, and I will be putting a new one up each week. This show could not have been accomplished without the help, of course, of Dana, Elizabeth, and Emily, and everyone working behind the scenes. I want to thank them all for participation. My mission is to bring parents peace. I'm honored these parents are willing to share their stories of loss and healing for our audience. Please bring out the tissue for sure. My intention and hope is that others will hear these stories and find their own path to healing. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube and share with your family and friends.
You and me, chasing down forever after.
Hello and welcome to Grieving to Believing. I'm Deb Shepard. There is no greater loss than that of a child, no matter what age. My mission is to help parents heal, find peace, and be inspired that their angels in heaven are still giving them messages of love. Besides knowing that a parent, a mother, or father will be here today, I have no idea who I'm going to be speaking to. So let's dive in and see where this journey takes us. So Sarah, you're way too young to have lost a child, but I'm getting here that you have been through the ringer is the first thing I get. You have been through a lot. Does that make sense? They're
Yes.
telling me that you have had a lot of pain in your life, that people see you as a smiling, beautiful woman, but they don't know what you've been through. And that you constantly are trying to show people this positive side, but they don't know how much your heart breaks. I see all the time, or when you wake up, or you're just feeling this overwhelming feeling. And they're saying to me that you have been asking your child for a while to give you some signs that they are okay,
Yes.
so that you can move on and for you not to hold the guilt that you've been carrying. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And not that it's your fault, but as a parent, our job is to protect our children, to make sure that they're safe, to make sure that they can live a long life and that they bury us. So I'm getting here that you have just felt like you did everything you could in your mind to be that really great mom. Okay? Did you tell me the name of your child?
Caden Ryan.
Okay, that's my son's middle name. Okay, and you have a lot of other people who passed here. You have a grandmother that's passed. Is that true?
Well, I'm not close on my father's side, so that's possible.
Okay, and it doesn't mean you have to know them. They're just showing up for some reason. And I'm seeing lots of pets in your life. So is there lots of animals in your life
I was
too?
asking for them to come through as
Okay,
well.
so they're here. They're showing me like you're like Noah's Ark. Just come in, and I'll take care of you.
Lots of animals.
Out of this heart, and I feel like you just have nothing but a great heart and soul. Like you will help any stranger that you don't even know. And so, how could this happen? I'm also being shown from Caden is that why would this happen? I feel like your faith or what you believe has really changed since his death.
Yes.
It's like you're trying to refocus on what does this mean? Why is this happening? Why would I be going through this?
Yes.
And I really believe that I don't believe in the negative karma, so you're not being punished. So whatever's happened in the past has nothing to do with this. I also feel like people are not as kind to you regarding Caden's passing. Have you had a lot of judgment around this too? Or people like not educated and understanding a loss of a child?
There has been, there's been some blame for sure.
And what Caden is saying, he's got his arms crossed. He's like, this is a bunch of BS, is what he's saying to me. He's acting like people are ignorant and I can't believe this is happening to you. He says that sometimes you feel like an island, that you're dealing with all of this by yourself. He says that you are starting to reach out. You're trying to find a community, but it's been really hard because first of all, you're just way too young.
Yeah, thank you.
How old was, yeah, I want to know that cream that you're using. So how old was Ryan when he passed? Because I'm feeling very young.
Caden was 13.
Yeah, okay, I was getting this. Is this also unexpected?
Yes.
Okay, 'cause
Well, yeah.
it feels like he wasn't sick before this. Like he didn't have leukemia or something like that. And he says that he's laughing. He goes, "Yeah, Mom, I was special for you," telling me
Yeah.
that you were really protective of him. You were overly protective of him, and that you were always worried that you were always worried that he would be safe. And I know that's a parent thing, but for some reason I feel like you were really concerned about Caden being safe. He keeps saying that this was your first thing. He's also saying that there's two sides. Like he had this outside that he was really strong, but inside there was a soft, mushy kid. You know, I'm getting this marshmallow inside, and on the outside I get that he tried to be this strong kid, even though it didn't always appear this way. Was he small for his age too?
He's a tiny little guy.
Because I get like, are you 9 or 10? And he goes, I'm 13. So I kind of get the feeling of I'm a double digit, I'm a 13-year-old, and these things. I'm not sure if he was bullied, but I certainly feel like he didn't always have the support he could have had from his peers. And so, in my opinion, is even though he was this tiny stature, he was very powerful in his own, like you saw that in him. But I feel like the world kept beating him up on some level. And he says that no, like people didn't realize what he had been through in a kid. And he's telling me around the age of 10, was there something significant that happened around the age of 10? Or was there a big change at the age of 10?
He started to change around 10.
Okay, because he just feels like I just feel like he's climbing Mount Everest.
Yeah.
Like always trying to get up, and it's just working so hard and trying to get there. And he's a smart dude.
So smart.
He's so smart, very kind. He says, "Mom, I could have been a millionaire." And,
I wish.
yeah, and just this feeling of taking on life. Like I feel like when he was outside of his peers and he was in nature and when he was feeling safe, this was an expressive, storytelling child. Like he
Yes.
have a great imagination. He could, he reminds me of a kid that I can make up. Like he could have been in a Pixar storyteller.
Yes. Yes.
And he could have told stories, and he says he had that kind of mind and ability, but he says that I keep getting peer pressure. I keep getting peer pressure through this. And he says that, okay, I don't think Caden swore, but he says sometimes people are assholes, Mom.
I think he did swear, but yes, he's right.
I'm trying to be a good child. He also feels that he would help the underdog, like he would stand up for someone that didn't have a voice. So even though he didn't always have a voice for himself, I feel like sometimes he played the wallflower so that he wouldn't get what I'm feeling is bullied.
Yeah.
Like he didn't want people, like they were just cruel people. Has he been not gone long?
5 years.
But yeah, that's what I was getting 5.
It feels like a long time.
He goes, right now I could be voting.
I know. Yes.
So the feeling I get for him is unexpected. He was his own little warrior. Like I feel like he's this. Okay, do you remember a whole story? But in Christmas they tell the story about Tiny Tim.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's that person. Like he has this positive energy. He has this great outlook, but he didn't look like everybody else.
Yeah.
And so I feel like he's telling you that you made the best choices for him possible. So don't have any regrets that you should have done something differently, that you should have homeschooled him, or you should have changed his schools, or you should have, could have. He says, this wasn't my time. this wasn't how I was supposed to go, but don't have any regrets because you did what you could do as a mom. I'm seeing dad on the outside. Is dad not in his life or had a harder time?
His biological dad is not in his life.
Okay. And he says, he's laughing. He goes, and that was a good thing.
Very much so, yes.
So he says that he's glad that you brought him into his life. You were this courageous mother. He, did he suicide? I'm sorry. Was this in your house? Was this asphyxiation?
Yes.
Okay. He's sorry because you found him. Is this correct?
My husband did.
Your husband. Okay. He is saying, I am so sorry, Mom, that you had no idea that this is the direction I was going. That you knew he was struggling, but you didn't know to this degree.
No.
He says, you didn't know because I didn't tell you. You didn't know because I didn't allow you in there. That you would have done anything possible to keep him here. You would have changed schools, you would have homeschooled him. He says that you would have walked in as a warrior mom and taken down all those other people.
I would have. Caden was 13 in 2017 when he took his own life. He had been struggling, adolescence is hard. I had a hard time and he was struggling. But he was such a bright light. That's what we got told all the time. He was such a bright light. He was a champion for the underdog. He was caring and thoughtful. He was hilarious. I don't know where the stories came from. People believed him all the time. He was always writing stories and drawing. He illustrated. That's a treasure. Notebooks and notebooks of drawings and stories.
And I'm getting here that the school system was notified of the problems.
Yeah, I was loud. Yeah, I was there.
He says they didn't really do anything.
It was a struggle. Everything was a struggle.
It's almost like they were afraid to talk to the parents of these children that were bullies.
Yeah. And I didn't even realize, I knew of a couple of, I didn't realize the bullying was as big as it was. That wasn't why I was there.
Okay. He just feels like he did not tell you, so you did not know, which means there's not a lot you could have done. So he wants you to know that, because if you would have known, he says, you would have been the kick-ass mom that would have gone out there and did what you needed to do. Okay. He knows he won't be forgotten, and he says, where is that big tattoo?
Big tattoo. So I have a butterfly on my back.
He's like, no, Mom, I need you to go bigger.
Oh,
He's like, go bigger or go home.
okay.
Okay. Caden is also, I feel like there needs to be a law change in order to support Caden's, what happened to him.
Yes.
And he says, and this is kind of odd, but he says, if I would have been alive during COVID, it would have been easier for me to go to school.
Yes.
And he says, for kids that are bullied, people don't realize that would have been an easier thing.
Yes.
He says that you have many things of his that you go through. You still go through his things.
I have, yeah, well, he's just everywhere. We keep him everywhere. Yeah.
And he's okay with that. He goes, I think a shrine is really part of it. He goes, he's okay with that. And he's like, I feel like even though he was not to his full height at that time, he was also someone to be reckoned with. Like, I feel like smart.
Yes.
And I feel like sometimes he didn't play smart because he was worried about that as well. Yeah. Being judged about that. What's the connection to playing chess?
he just learned how. I don't even know how he learned how. He taught himself through a computer game.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just feel like he could pick something up, learn it,
Yeah.
and just go for it. He is okay, but you want him here, of
Me
course.
too.
And he feels as if he came into your life for many reasons. He's just sad that he left your life too early.
Me too.
He goes, people don't get it. Like people, if you talk about him, they don't get it, they don't understand.
I feel like my future was stolen.
What do you want to ask Caden?
I want to know if he sends me images.
The first thing I laugh about is like, who do you think you're talking to, Mom? Are the
Okay.
images things that make you feel good, like a story?
Yeah, it'll be different things. Like I'll just get a flash of a hug where I can almost feel it, or
Absolutely.
hear his laugh.
Absolutely. So, a medium like myself is here to tell you it's possible, but they really want to talk only to you. And he says do you get pedicures?
I get my nails done. Yeah,
Are you're a nail what?
I get my nails done, but not pedicures,
Because he says, he's
which
there.
is new for me.
Okay, he's like, go get your nails, like, go get a pedicure, go take care of yourself. And with the nails, he feels like he's there because you can't move. Like, you have to sit still.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you in his room?
I am in a room. It's not his room, but he was here when he passed. Yes.
Okay. Because he feels like he's amazed that you're still there and that no matter where you go, he will follow you.
Yeah.
Is there a connection to Hawaii for you?
Just the beach in general. I've been trying to get a beach in my life for a while now.
Okay. I think that too is a connection for you guys. He says you're highly intuitive. Don't be scared of it, Mom.
Thank you.
What do you do, Sarah?
I am right now I'm a surgery scheduler. I run a surgery scheduling office by trade, but I've been developing my Reiki skills and trying to tap into clairs and
Okay. Take some of my classes. So you obviously are a healer, and he will be there to help you. It doesn't mean that. I just like you're going to pay attention differently to this. What he's saying is you're going to pay attention differently because you know that there's signs there, but you didn't see them, and you feel guilty for not seeing the signs.
yeah.
He says you guys had a great relationship. He could have just told you, but he says that he kept it from you. But now when you look back, you see certain times that there was probably little ahas,
Yes.
and he just feels like, Mom, you can't go back, and it's okay. I'm not mad at you.
No, I'm not mad at him either.
No. He shouldn't have died at 13.
Nobody should.
I really appreciate you allowing me to be that person to connect with the veil, to talk to your son, to bring him here. He is definitely a bright light, and he reminds me that he could have been easily an actor because he knew how to play the role very, very well. He knew how to show up, and I really feel that he was in his own world many times.
Yes.
And he figured out how to live life in his own way, no matter what was going on. And I don't believe that he was this downer or this negative person. He always tried to be this positive person all the time. And so for him, this was sweat of left field for everybody. I even feel the people, his teachers and things, were a little overwhelmed that this happened to him. I also feel like it was a wake-up call for a lot of people in education to realize that they didn't take this seriously.
Yes.
And I feel like a lot of people are going to pay attention more because of Caden. But Sarah, I wish he was here with you.
Thank you, Deb. Deb mentioned right away that he was a bright light. And like I said, that was something we heard a lot about Caden. She said that Caden is a storyteller, and that he created his own world and had an imagination that was unimaginable, which is true. Deb mentioned that he would be voting, and the 2016 election was very important to him. He really took it hard, and he couldn't wait to vote. So he would have been 18 this year, and he would have been able to vote on things. I was surprised that Caden said for me to go big with the tattoo. I've been wrestling. I do have a tattoo for him, and I had it while he was alive, but I've given it a facelift since he's passed. And I've been wrestling with lots of different ideas and deciding how big or small I wanted to go. So that was pretty surprising for him to bring that up today. I also, I guess I don't know if it falls under surprising, but it was welcome to hear. I often wonder about Caden affecting change in people's lives. And he acknowledged that there's been some changes, and I've noticed too that they've kept me abreast of a couple of things in the school, and anyway, I was happy that he was acknowledging that. I feel absolutely 100% connected to my son today. I feel like Deb was able to pick up on things about his personality. He said things that I've been thinking to just kind of validate, that it was him and we were talking to each other, and that connection that you can feel it. And he told me to trust my intuition, and that just tells me that I know when he's there, and knowing that he's accessible to me now, that I can close my eyes and I can feel that little hug, and I can hear that laugh. You just talk yourself out of it. These memories come flooding too, or there's a smell that hits you, or another little mom that sounds like his voice. It's there, and I feel like he's always saying hi, and I need to be open to it.
And everyone, please remember, even though your loved ones are on the other side, they are still by your side. I am Deb Shepard. I look forward to seeing you next time on Grieving to Believing.
Chasing down forever after. Forever after. Chasing down forever
Thank you for listening to today's episode. I hope it inspired you. If you enjoyed our conversation, make sure you subscribe so that you get notified of new episodes. And let's get connected. Visit debshepard.com for more insights, support, workshops, and a book a session with me. And finally, always remember, your loved ones in spirit are just a thought away. Even though they're on the other side, they're always by your side.